Francis Ngannou, the man widely touted as the biggest puncher in UFC history, was MMA's best shot at success in boxing. But the big man got obliterated.
This has been a hell of a day. I'll process it and then see what is the next step. Maybe MMA, but you can be sure that I'm not done here. Absolutely not.
Surely this MMA champs trying their hand at elite-level boxing fad was knocked out along with the Predator, right? Mind you, Ngannou's loss wasn't against Tyson Fury. The lineal boxing heavyweight champion should have ended this conversation in 2023. The idea of a man with no pro boxing experience taking on the lineal champ was ridiculous. But in Ngannou, the Gypsy King saw an easy payday. It was laughable, and he knew it. Everyone in boxing knew it.
So there's more riding on this than there ever has been before. And whether the media want to take it as a joke or whatever they want to take it as, make no mistake, Tyson Fury will leave 0 stones unturned, and I will come in at my fittest and strongest and best I've ever been to defeat this man. And if I'm not, and I get knocked out, I want you all to laugh at me. That's what I want.
Fury should have schooled the less-than-amateur boxer, and this phase should have ended. But instead, Ngannou sat him on his backside before just missing out on a split decision victory. How in the world did that happen? A year earlier, Fury fought his fellow Englishman Dillian Whyte, a legitimate boxer with heavy hands and far, far more experience than Ngannou. For that bout, Fury weighed in at 265 pounds, and he got the knockout in the 6th round. Just months later, Fury faced Derek Chisora in the final bout of their trilogy. The difference between Chisora and Whyte was that Chisora's best days were well behind him. He'd even lost 3 of his last 4 fights.
When I say Chisora, don't forget, you got the so-called guys in the division that people, oh, these guys are top guys. We offer them big fights, no smoke, no smoke. You offer it to Derek Chisora, boom, he sat here opposite me. Man's got balls, and in today's society, in this boxing game, there's a big lack of balls.
Big balls or not, Chisora was way out of Fury's league, and as such, Fury weighed in at 269 pounds, or 4 pounds heavier than when he fought Whyte, and Fury put on a 10-round show. For Ngannou, a man who had never boxed professionally in his life, Fury weighed in at 278 pounds. That's 13 pounds heavier than when he fought a legitimate contender. The significant step up in weight suggests that Fury wasn't taking things as seriously as he could have. The thing is, though, Ngannou is a legitimate heavyweight, which Anthony Joshua clearly took into consideration when he fought the MMA star.
Did I expect to win? I'll give my best. I don't like to predict anything. I'm telling you, yeah, heavyweight boxing is a league of its own. It's a different division, so anything can happen.
At heavyweight, everyone can throw with power, and Ngannou has exceptional punching power. It's this very thing, his puncher's chance, that was one half of what gave him any chance whatsoever. The other half of his chance was that heavyweights, especially those as big as Anthony Joshua, can't move out of the way of punches as fast as the boxers in the lighter divisions. The fact is, heavyweights are far more hittable, and it only takes one in the big boy division, so Ngannou had a chance. Against Fury, that nearly paid off. The difference between Fury and Joshua, though, may have been that Joshua took the fight very seriously, and he didn't give Ngannou a chance to hit him. Again, that's at heavyweight, and the heavyweight MMA puncher couldn't get close to hitting a heavyweight boxer as massive as Joshua.
He was quite special because he stopped me. He did what Tyson Fury couldn't done, you know. He wasn't my day, and he was way better than me today. Yeah, it sucks, but it's the game.
If we move down the divisions to see how other MMA fighters fare, we come to a light heavyweight UFC champion like Alex Pereira. And Alex Pereira is a beast. Of all the MMA title holders who could actually challenge for a world boxing title, this is your guy. Before winning 2 UFC titles in 2 weight divisions in just 2 years with the UFC, The Brazilian had already made a name for himself as one of the greatest kickboxers in history. Unlike Ngannou, who relies mainly on ungodly power, Pereira is a genuine striking savant with power, speed, timing, fight IQ, size, and everything else you could possibly want. But was Pereira calling out the unified light heavyweight boxing champion Artur Beterbiev, a man 3 years older and 4 inches shorter than himself? No, because Pereira wasn't stupid. Beterbiev is a pure boxing machine who would punch rings around a kickboxer, let alone an MMA fighter. If the light heavyweight champ Pereira, a genuine world championship level striker, wasn't calling out boxing champs because he knew he'd lose, then every other champ below him should know better. And this has already been proven. Look at what happened when Conor McGregor, one of the most talented and lethal UFC strikers in history, thought he'd take over boxing.
My game is like being in a car crash. You know what I'm saying? It's shin bone, knees, elbows. It ain't for the faint-hearted. This game, I'm actually kind of shocked sometimes because it's like, you mean I'm getting all this money? You mean I'm quadrupling my net worth and no one even is gonna try and kick me or choke me or elbow me or knee me and I'm getting quadruple my money? Sign me up.
When McGregor was 29 and at the absolute peak of his game, the then dual division UFC champion laced up the boxing gloves to face one of the best to ever do it. Floyd Mayweather Jr., who was significantly smaller, hadn't scored a genuine knockout in 10 years, was 40 and had been retired for 2 years. The only reason this fight happened was because UFC president Dana White knew Mayweather was well past his prime. So McGregor was unlikely to get hurt, and if he was lucky, he might even win. But old man Mayweather still stopped him in the 10th round.
We had a cool training camp. You know, I didn't box for the last month. I didn't do no sparring, but you know, there's no excuses. He came out here, he fought a hell of a fight, hell of a stand-up guy, and I went out there and just did what I do best. Found a way to trap him and broke him down.
Ngannou took his shot at boxing, and he earned an absolute pecket in the process. His life is immeasurably better, and you can't begrudge a man for that. But it's time for other MMA fighters to let this dream go. If the supposed biggest puncher in MMA history couldn't capitalize on his puncher's chance, then the other UFC champs need to let that dream go for the good of both sports. But if boxers want to try their hand at mixing their martial arts for a change, then they're more than welcome to try.
In the clinch, I felt fine though. I felt cool. I thought, hang on a minute, I could probably take him in UFC actually. When I did a bit of pushing and pulling and that, I thought, oh, and I'm all right. I thought I'd be getting flung everywhere.
Thanks for watching. And remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.